Hello. We need to talk about Infinity Nikki. I know it's been a week, and I will start by telling a bit about my experience with the game, and then I'll go a bit deeper into the update and my critique of the update. Because I started playing Infinity Nikki when it came out. So 1.0 it came out. I'm pretty sure the date came out, I was already streaming it. And I've been streaming it since it came out. I have really enjoyed... I think the story was okay for me. Not the best story I've experienced in a video game, but the exploration was incredible. And I have not played a dress-up game before. So for me, the whole dress-up aspect of it was really incredible because so far I've played a lot of open world games, I've played other gacha games, but I have not played a gacha game or a gacha dress up. So that was very exciting. The world of Infinity Nikki is incredible. It's extremely cozy to explore. There is such a beautiful world, so many also beautiful areas to take photos in, which is obviously one of the bigger aspects of a gacha game that is also a dress-up game. My experience has been incredible in the beginning. In the first patch, there were some issues, there were some bugs. It was not running perfectly, especially on mobile, but overall, it worked well. It seemed like the development is going well. So from that aspect, I was really happy with Infinity Nikki. As well as I remember early on feeling like the gacha was really rewarding compared to other games that I've played, which was a nice bonus for Infinity Nikki. And from a more personal perspective, about 2 years ago I got really sick, and since then I need to use a mobility aid to travel around. And nature is not very accessible, so for me, Infinity Nikki was also a nice way to experience more. I know it's digital nature, but it's still an option to go out and explore nature without needing to get your wheels out, which has been a really, really great experience for me. But that's more on a personal note. Since then, overall, most patches were great. They had their issues. None of them felt particularly bad. There were some issues along the way in the previous patches, but I don't think any of them was as major as what is happening right now. Since I love Infinity Nikki so much, I do want to share my thoughts on the new update and offer some critique on it as well. So, to start with the current events, which I think so far for me is the best aspect of this update. The events are really nice. Serenity Island is a wonderful area. The exploration is really nice, and the new boss is really cool. The only issue is that the performance issues and the bugs that are happening in all the other areas of the game are also happening there, and that really hinders the experience for me. The switch and stitch soiree that is happening and has rewards behind it, so it's not only for fun, it's also for the rewards. It's locked behind certain hours of the day, so not hours in the game, but actual real-life hours that are only 2 hours a day. I know they're in the evening and it's supposed to be convenient, and it probably has a social aspect to it, but most people cannot log in specific hours every day. I think in that sense there has to be some adapting. There has to be a way for people who cannot log in those hours to get those rewards. The dying system. This is the first time I'm playing a dress-up game. It's the first time I'm playing a gacha dress-up game. I have played gachas before, but I've never played a dress-up. Very odd to me personally that the dying system unlocks colors per item and not per outfit, or just unlocks the color in general. I do think it would make more sense if the colors were be unlocked per outfit and not per item, especially since they are so costly and are really expensive to get and not that easily obtainable. Now for the major issues. Co-op is a great and wonderful idea, and I have zero opposition to having co-op in Infinity Nikki. However, it is very clear that releasing co-op was rushed, and that the co-op release was not prepared properly. It did not work at all in the first days, now it's slowly working, and overall there are not enough meaningful interactions apart from taking photos together. I think that hurts the idea of co-op. Co-op should be doing things together. Some of the really nice new co-op functions are locked behind the gacha. For instance, I know there's a dance that you get from the new Crimson outfit. You don't see that dance unless you have that outfit or you have a friend that has that outfit and invites you to watch the dance. And I think the fact that it's there and it's only for the gacha on the patch that the co-op releases really doesn't showcase to the larger audience what co-op in Infinity Nikki actually has to offer. Some other ideas that I've heard and also that I had is that you could create either choose the option to only see people that are your friends in the overworld, and that way when you see someone in the overworld you know that it is your friend and not just someone who is there. A nice idea would be to be able to create groups of friends and then to be able to see them. It's really weird that you only see about 3 or 4 fellow Nikkis on the map. I think that can really help make co-op feel fuller in general. I think co-op released too early. Now let's move on to the part that I think angered majority of players, and I have to agree with that, which is the story change. The new cutscene is really beautiful. It's gorgeous, and the seer is a very cool character. But it shouldn't be instead of the story that we already had before. It could have been a really nice continuation to the story that we already had. A really easy way to have done that would have just been, okay, so we have the story. The story is already done. The players already know the story. The players are already connected to the story. The players are connected to the characters. The players are connected to the world that we built. We have a new dying system. What should we do? The dying system could be added, and I think both dying and co-op could be added as either endgame or just modes that are open when you are at a later level. It could be that you're doing the main story, and then once you're done with the story in Stoneville, which is, as we know, has a connection to dying specifically, we could have a side quest in Stoneville that says, hey, now that you have reached this level and you have completed this part of the main story, you can complete this quest and unlock the dying feature. There was no need to change that story for the dying system, as well as co-op. No one said we needed co-op from the second you land into the game. That's how it is in other games, and it works very well. You don't unlock co-op from level 1. You progress a bit in the story, you explore the world, you learn the mechanics, you learn how the game works, you immerse yourself in the story of the game before you enjoy the co-op features. I think it would have been much wiser to have co-op added. Could also be either a main story continuation or a side quest to unlock co-op after you are done with the main story. By that I mean after you craft the first miracle outfit. That would be a wonderful time to unlock co-op. The hurt from the community is coming because the story was changed. It's not the banners, it's not the monetization, it's not even the bugs. Despite them being annoying to the point that even some players cannot even play the game, the story change from my perspective is what creates the lack of belief in the game. From my perspective, the change to the story is what hurt the community the most, because that is showing disrespect to the game itself. It feels very weird to me to have 2 limited banner outfits in this new cutscene. I don't know if it's in order to get more people to pull in the current banners, which feels very short-sighted, or if it is because those outfits do actually have any relevance to the lore, which then it would make them a bit weird to be on the limited banner. I think the original story should be brought back, and co-op and dying system should be added as either side quests or endgame content to be experienced after you're done with the majority of the game that was released before. There was no rush for any of these features. So I wanted to talk a bit about monetization, and specifically about this. I am fully aware that there is the bubble gratitude option in the store. This little red dot has not gone from the screen ever since the patch came out. Every day I log in, I click on it, shows me that I purchased something that is equivalent to 60 bubble energy, and it encourages me to spend more money. Now, originally, I will admit, I was inclined to do it because I really like this outfit. I think this outfit is adorable, and I thought this deal was quite worth it. Quite simply because of this little dot that appears every day that I log in. It discouraged me and I decided to not get it. Specifically because of the feeling that it gives me of I'm being forced to buy it and it's not a choice that I'm making. So eventually that led to me deciding not to get this outfit, and I truly don't understand the reasoning behind it. And now with the topic of monetization, the new banners. The new banners are beautiful. They are incredible, and I can wholeheartedly say that you can really tell how much effort they have been putting to create incredible new outfits. The quality of Unfading Heart and of Eternal Snow, both of them, is incredible. You can see it in the details of the outfit. You can see it in the details of the deep echoes, the items that you're getting from pulling on the banner. They are absolutely incredible. Now, there are currently multiple issues with the gacha system. First of all, when you are pulling an outfit, the maximum that you need to pull to get the full outfit is 220 pulls. Which means you might get the recolor before you're getting the full outfit. Not only that, you will be 10 pulls away from getting the 3rd evolution. And to that being added that if you're pulling for the 4th evolution, you're getting nothing. Because after the 230 draws, there is nothing to get. Another thing that is problematic with the current gacha system is that we're getting beautiful new outfits, the 5-star and the 4-star on every banner, but at some point if you pull for evolutions, you complete the 4-star and then you're not really getting anything from it. And also the fact that there are no new 3-star outfits at all. No new 3-star items since the game came out. And we just keep on getting the same quote-unquote nothing from the gacha every time we pull on a 5-star banner. Because those are all the same items again and again. I think it would be really nice if we get new 3-star items on the gacha system as well. I think that would make the gacha much better. Once you are done getting the 4-star outfit, we should start getting the 4-star outfits from the standard banner. Another issue in the shop is the original price. There is no original price. This item, this bundle, is only being sold this patch. The price that it released with is $9.99, and it had no other price, and it will not have any other price. So this original price is just a lie. It's just misleading. I'm actually thinking it might not even be legal. So this is definitely an issue that should be addressed. Also, who would buy this for 50 euros? But no, we should we should definitely decrease this. I definitely think being more straightforward, being more direct with how the marketing is happening would be very helpful. Another issue that I have with the current items in the shop is the bubbly adventure. This item looks adorable, and I will say that my most used item so far is the little parasol that we got from the shop just a few patches ago. It was also sold for 99 cents. I use it almost all the time. It's truly one of the best items in this game. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is a really nice handheld item. And you can blow bubbles with it? That sounds adorable. And when you click at the preview, it says that you can use it to create bubbles. How wonderful. Only this preview does not tell you that you cannot hold the item. And what I mean by that is that this is not a handheld item. This is an ability like a bike that you can summon, or like the items that we can summon in the overworld, like the picnic baskets. This is not a handheld item. So I think this is misleading and should be better communicated in the future. This is real money we're spending on these items. Something that was frustrating me already before this update was announced even. There is no drip marketing to the game. I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that there is not enough content in the game. I've heard a lot of people complain that they have nothing to do in the game. And at the same breath, a lot of people told me that they feel like the game is overwhelming for them, that there are too many things to do in the game for them. And that's a pretty big gap to fill. And I think when it comes to this specifically, one of the biggest issues is that there was barely any hype. And what I mean by hype, we only got drip marketing for each of the updates probably 2 or 3 days before the update drops. That's when we learn what events we're getting, that's when we learn what new outfits we're getting, that's when we learn what is going to happen in 2 or 3 days from now. And 2 or 3 days are not enough for the community to get excited, or creators to make videos about the new update, for there to be any sort of excitement that isn't, oh no, this patch drops in 2 days and I don't have enough pulls. For the future of Infinity Nikki, it would be very, very wise to have drip marketing and talk more about what is going to come in the future updates, at least a week before they drop, if not 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It is also completely acceptable to make the patches last longer and have the banners last a bit longer. There is no opposition to that. That could also work. To conclude the situation, I love Infinity Nikki. I think it's a wonderful game, and I think it has incredible potential. This update was supposed to be the update with no more empty promises, and I think we can admit, and also Infold can admit, that's not the case. I am not giving up on this game. I know some people are already talking about it as if it's over. I'm not there yet. I still have hope that the next patches will not promise too much, have better communication, because most of the issues right now stem from lack of communication, wording that is just not correct for the situation, and a lot of promises that end up being misleading. I am truly hopeful that the next patches of Infinity Nikki will be better. I'm not going to say anything about the end of Infinity Nikki because I do not think it's the end of Infinity Nikki. I hope it's not the end of Infinity Nikki. I really, really hope that the people in charge, the people that decide what happens when, will learn how to pace things better, to only release things when they're ready, to have better testing for new features that are coming out, to respect Nikki a bit more, and understand that we don't need reminders to go into the shop to buy the items in Infinity Nikki, because when you're creating good outfits, good banners, and you're giving us a reason to pull, you're giving us a reason to play, We don't need all those reminders to go to the shop. The players who have the money will probably go there anyways. Thank you so much for listening to my critique of Infinity Nikki 1.5. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to hear how you experience the game, what are your feelings, and in general, what you expect from the game to do better in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.